The WNBA continues to make themselves look like straight up clowns. Okay, we had a 3-week run of inclusion. That's all they was talking about, right? Now they're actually being held to the fire by Julie Tetart, and they are ignoring and they are running from the fact that Julie Tetart is actually looking to play in the WNBA. Why has the WNBA gone hiding? Why are they not responding? This is going to be even bigger when it really comes out that now, was it a big front? Was it a big lie? You guys are now ignoring and hiding from Julie, and Julie wants answers. This is crazy, man. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit the bell notification, and hype the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. Let's get right into things. So this entire inclusion conversation has taken over the airwaves when it comes to transgenders playing in the WNBA. Now, you had Sophie Cunningham, and we're going to get to her because Sophie Cunningham, she joined the WNBA pregame today, so we're going to get into that footage as well. They spoke to her about everything that's been going on surrounding this spectacle, because that's 100% is what it has been, a pure spectacle. So we got to get into what Sophie had to say, but Julie Tetart is looking for answers. Julie Tetart is looking to play in the WNBA. In the WNBA, Cheryl Reeve, all of these people went out attacking Sophie Cunningham, so much so that they wanted to get mad at Caitlin Clark and try to make her, turn her into a political figure. And now it seems like were y'all putting on a front for the media? What were y'all doing? Now, I've already stated where I stand, and I'm not into politics and all of that. I just don't think men should be able to play in a women's league. That's just where I stand. If you stand on the other side, cool, no problem with me, whatever. But the WNBA has put on a front as to seem as if they're okay with this. And now we have this that has come out and is absolutely insane, okay? Dan Zach of Outkick asked, Outkick asked the WNBA and WNBPA whether Julie Tetart, a biological male who averaged 21 points and 20 rebounds in a French women's professional league, would be eligible in the WNBA. Neither organization responded. I'm going to read that again. Outkick asked the WNBA and the WNBPA, the Players Association, whether Julie Tetart, a biological male who averaged 21 points and 20 rebounds in a French women's professional league, if Julie would be eligible to play in the WNBA, and none of them are responding. Why are y'all not responding? Y'all been running around on camera causing all this melee, talking about how the trans belong and this and that and inclusion. You know, you got Cheryl Reeve talking about the inclusion. You got Stephanie White all of a sudden pretending, oh yeah, I don't know the scientific method of chromosomes and this and that. And all of a sudden, Stephanie White don't know anything between the difference between a biological female and a biological male. All of a sudden, she don't know about that, but she wanted to talk about inclusion. You had Natalie Nakase of the Golden State Valkyries talking about inclusion, because you have to include the transgender into the league, because me being Filipino and being short, I went through the same thing. What? Now, all of a sudden, you guys are not answering or responding when Julie's trying to find out what's going on with her getting in, getting in the league. Julie trying to figure out what's up with getting in the league, man. And y'all not answering now. Now y'all not answering. Okay? We're going to get into the full story right here. I want to get into what Sophie Cunningham had to say as well. Actually, you know what? We'll get to Sophie Cunningham first, because Sophie Cunningham actually called out the league for not actually even talking about basketball and just some of the things that's been going on. Let's get to Sophie Cunningham first, and then we'll finish.
Was suspended 5 home games after confronting 2 teenage fans during a game. The girls were holding signs supporting Sophie Cunningham following her comments about transgender participation in women's sports. And the WNBA ruled that the interaction violated its fan code of conduct, the Storm issuing an apology for the incident afterwards. Sophie, without sort of revisiting the actual issue that brought us to this point, I would just love to get your thoughts on the league's discipline of an owner over a fan interaction.
I'm still trying to figure out when y'all gonna talk about the assault of that Indiana Fever Caitlin Clark fan that got spit on in the stands. I'm trying to figure out when we're gonna get an explanation for that as well. That's what I would like to know.
Yeah, I think I have a very clear and strong perspective on this. With that being said, though, I think I know that people are not always going to align and agree. I totally understand that. But I think the most important thing is of having that respect, having that love, and pursuing peace in these conversations, in these debates, because I think that is healthy. Now, with that being said, I just hate how the basketball of it all is just getting overshadowed. I think that you are seeing teams playing at the highest level they've ever played at. You see great basketball, the most elite level basketball this league has ever seen. And it just makes me sad that all this kind of drama and things that truly don't matter are getting overshadowed. The basketball is getting overshadowed. And so my biggest thing is love and respect. I think there's room for absolutely everybody. We don't always have to agree, but that respect and love definitely has to be there.
And that is pretty much what she had to say on it. And Sophie Cunningham has faced a lot of hate based on, the stance she has taken on the situation. Okay. And that is what she said. Look, that's just my stance. I don't hate anybody. It's not a hate crime. I just don't want to compete against biological males. I don't want to share a locker room, but I don't hate anybody. And we could talk about basketball now. And now let's finish up with the Julie Tetart story here, courtesy of Fox News and Outkick. Here it says, Eurobasket named the 34-year-old its all-French LF2 Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and Domestic Player of the Year. Those numbers certainly sound WNBA worthy. Plus, Tetart told Outkick Fox News Digital that playing in the WNBA is a childhood dream. So y'all said trans kids matter, blah, blah, blah. Julie Tetart is saying this is a childhood dream and said if they contacted me, I won't say no. So Outkick Fox News Digital asked the WNBA and the WNBPA a simple question. Would Julie Tetart be eligible to play in the league? Neither organization responded to the initial inquiries or a subsequent follow-up specifically addressing Tetart's eligibility under the CBA. Okay, and here it says the question shouldn't be difficult after all the league's newly signed CBA appears to provide a clear eligibility standard. Only players who are women are eligible to play in the WNBA. Sounds simple, right? The term transgender, gender identity doesn't appear anywhere in the document. The CBA contains detailed, here it says the CBA contains detailed definitions for dozens of other terms, yet the agreement doesn't define the word that determines who may play in the league. That omission was already noticeable when Indiana Fever star guard Caitlin Clark said the league's governing bodies should work with athletes to determine who should be included in women's sports. It says at that point, the league could treat the question as theoretical. Tetart gives the WNBA a concrete case. A professional player in a women's league who has expressed interest in the WNBA. Would the WNBA consider Tetart a woman for all purposes of Article X III? Would eligibility be determined by biological sex, gender identity, hormone levels, or some other standards? So as of right now, it appears the WNBA, they are running from this. They're not trying to respond to this. And Julie Tetart is looking for answers. And I think the WNBA should give an answer. Is Julie eligible or not? Because at the end of the day, y'all sat there and let this circus go on and on and on. And now y'all finally being held to the fire on it. Y'all actually finally being held to the fire on it. And I'm going to be keeping my eyes peeled, ear to the streets to see what the hell y'all going to do. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. This Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share the channel.